We all know that whenever there's a big job to do, it's always good to have a plan. Hi, I'm Jorge Bernardo, and this part of Be Ready DC is about your household emergency plan. Your household emergency plan has 12 points, and point number 1 is talk about it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Start by discussing some of the things that could happen. A fire, a power outage from a big storm, a flood, even a chemical spill or a terrorist attack of some sort.
What to do in case of emergencies.
Now, how much detail you want to go into, that's your call. What's important is the way you talk about it with your family. Tell them, don't be scared, be prepared. Let them know that you're thinking like a family and that you're all in this together. Suppose your power goes out.
Make sure there
Well, there's another part of Be Ready DC called If Your Power Goes Out.
How do you know you're
My point number 2,
just a couple of
stay tuned.
Your power goes out, not just for a couple of hours. How about a couple of days? What do you do?
Now, if your power does go out or there's a fire, you'll need to know how to get out of a room or completely out of your house or apartment. Point number 3, draw a floor plan. If possible, have 2 ways out of every room. In any emergency, there are going to be some things that only adults should do. Let's talk about the grown-up things first. Every grown-up in the house should know how to turn off the water, gas, and electricity at the main switches. That's our point number 4. Adults only, okay? This is not something for kids to do. If for any reason you should need to turn off the gas, do not turn it back on yourself. This is one job for the pros. Call Washington Gas and they will restore your service. We'll have the number for you at the end of the show. On to point 5. Put all your emergency numbers right next to your phones. If your phone's got auto dial, go ahead and program those numbers in too. Make it easy on yourself.
You can also use that for 911, right? Yeah.
We'll have those numbers for you also at the end of the show. On now to some things that everybody should know how to do, such as how to call emergency 911.
Don't forget to stay calm when you call, okay?
Point 6. Teach your kids what calling 911 is all about.
Very important.
When to do it and how to do it.
911 hears everything you have to say.
Tell them to listen to the responder and do exactly as they say. You'll also want to teach your kids how to make long-distance calls, because in an emergency, it may be easier to call out of state than inside DC. That's point 7. Now you're going to need to add one more phone number to that list, and that is the number of an out-of-state friend or relative that everybody can call if you're separated. And that's point 8. Somebody you can all contact if for any reason you lose touch with the rest of your family.
And we're going to call Grandma Sophie, correct? Okay.
Here's another thing to plan on if you lose touch. Try to have 2 meeting places. One should be near your home, and the other one should be somewhere outside of your neighborhood.
Now we should decide on a central meeting place in case we're separated.
That's in case you can't return home after an emergency. Talk about it with your family and name places where you can meet. That's point 9. The idea is to have options no matter what happens. Situations can change. Emergencies are unpredictable. Point 10. Listen to the radio for the latest updates.
You want to be listening to 1500 AM.
Make sure everybody in your house can tune to WTOP 1500 AM for emergency information. And make that a battery-powered radio with extra batteries. Point number 11 is find a safe place for all your important documents. Birth and marriage certificates, powers of attorney, insurance policies, a copy of your will. All those hard-to-replace documents. Get yourself a water and fireproof safe. They're not expensive, they're worth it, and just about every hardware store has them. Point 12, learn basic first aid, learn CPR. These are things you need to know anyway. Contact the American Red Cross. They've got classes all over. I just want to leave you with a couple of more things. You and your family might not be together when an emergency strikes. You could be at work, your kids could be at school. So find out about the emergency plans at your workplace and at your kids' schools. And if there's a person who is elderly or who has a disability in your home, find out what kind of emergency services are out there for them. And that's it. Just one more thing. Keep it fresh. Go over your plan with your family every 6 months or so. I'm Jorge Bernardo, and this has been Time Well Spent.
It's really important to have a plan.